welcome to Ray's Sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and today's episode will be about the book SLIMETIME, A Guide to Sleazy, Mindless Movies by Steven Puchalski. Now, Steve is the editor and publisher behind a great fanzine that's been going on since 1990. It says here on the cover of this issue. This is it. This magazine is probably the closest thing in spirit to the old Psychotronic, and it has outlasted the Psychotronic. Not saying that makes it better or anything, but it's still going strong, and it covers many, the interviews are with many of the same type of directors and character actors and people that the Psychotronic did. As a matter of fact, sometimes you can find the same person interviewed by both magazines, and it's a terrific magazine. There's the interviews, there's film reviews, there's book reviews, there's lists of current fanzines that are out, all that kind of stuff that you want. And this is classic fanzine material, and great, it's got, Jonathan Hayes, director Joe Dante, just a tremendous amount. I like that he puts the actors on the front. I like this because many of these people are the kind of people who are never going to get the front cover of a magazine, or if they did, those days are long past, and it's nice to see them get that little shout out. This makes the covers a little samey, maybe not as dynamic as you might do, but I think it's good. I like it, especially when I'm looking for something like the great interview they did with Chris Elliott. You're flipping through, you see Chris's mug, and you say, "Hey, that's the one." But I'm not here to talk about these today. Shock Cinema, check out the website. Subscriptions are incredibly affordable. You could also check out. He still has some newsstand distribution. I know his this magazine is carried in Barnes & Noble. You want to walk in and take a look at a copy. Don't just read it there like half the people who look at the magazines at Barnes & Noble and just read them entirely in the store and don't buy them. Don't do that. But you could glance through it there and pick up a copy. So, great magazine. Lots of fun. Been around a long time. Steve knows what he's doing. This book is about, it collects a lot of stuff he wrote for other places, other zines, some magazines and things like that. But it also has to do with his original fanzine was called SLIMETIME. And it was just a couple sheets of paper stapled together, done on a Xerox machine. I believe he used to do it at his work when he could. This is a lot more adventuresome than most when it comes to the type of films they review. And I'm not talking, they don't do like mainstream films or anything, but they find things that are more of a social nature or political nature than genre nature. So more slice of life, still off-kilter stuff that's interesting because of the way the director handles it or the writer or something. But, it's not just genre stuff, although they do cover that too. So one of the things about Psychotronic was that Michael seemed very non-committal. He was intent on describing the film to you, but he didn't pronounce whether, hey, this sucks or this is great. Although every once in a while he couldn't help it. But, if he did say something really good about the movie, then you knew it had really struck a chord with him. Steve is much more traditional. He is going to let you know how he feels. He's got a good eye for mentioning things that might escape most zine reviewers' eyes. And so the bulk of this book, let's look at. So there's reviews, and that's the bulk of the book. But then at the end, he's got some histories on certain genres like biker movies, blaxploitation, hallucinogenics in the cinema. So, and then a chapter on Hunter S. Thompson live. So like I said, he reviews, and his early zine was very heavily genre based, and this is much more. These movies are much more traditionally what you would find in the average zine, as opposed to shock cinema, which became much more adventurous. But there's some really great reviews in here. I just noticed in this review of Alice in Acid Land, he goes, it tries so hard to be groovy and fails so thoroughly. It's pathetic. Nevertheless, I have a soft spot in my head for this kind of ridiculous low-rent love-in, so sue me. There he's reviewing that Mark Twain film, the claymation thing that was so, the guy who did maybe he mentions it here, Will Vinton. Yeah, damn, I couldn't remember that. He's the guy who did the California Raisins, among other things. That was the big thing that got him some attention. But this Adventures of Mark Twain is a really weird claymation thing. So anyway, and here he does things like he reviews four movies altogether that had something slightly in common, maybe. The connections are a bit tenuous. But yeah. The Amazing Mr. Bickford. That is another great animation film. You should. It's a documentary on this guy, and it's also got a lot of his work in it. Crazy. He's most famous. He did from some work for Frank Zappa's one film, Baby Snakes. But Bickford, this is so great. This, you need to check. Some of his stuff was released. I don't know where it is nowadays, but there was some DVDs released of his work. Just fantastic stuff. Definitely worth seeing. Anyway, let's not get caught up too much in that. So here it is. This is like I said, this has been printed several times. I know, I don't know, at least twice, maybe three times. So I think it's pretty easy to get. I think, even though you can definitely find reviews of all this stuff anywhere online, any time of the day or night, I really like his opinion on these things. He's funny. Like I said, he points out things that you might not notice about these films. So there's a few times when I've read his review and I go, and it's a movie I've seen, and I go like, really? It makes me want to revisit it. So he covers all types of genre stuff in here. It's a really good overview of genre stuff, all kinds of wild stuff from every corner. And then, like I said, he's got these. Here's the genre histories. There's the biker movies one. It'll give you a good place to start if you want to start watching biker movies. The blaxploitation chapter, of course. Now there's been several really good and a couple okay books on blaxploitation films all by themselves, but this is a great chapter. It's got some really good stuff in it. And here's one about taking acid in films. And there he reviews a Hunter S. Thompson live show. Anyway, Like I said, I just wanted to point this out. This is a fun book to look for. This is a great magazine that you should maybe think about supporting. And really inexpensive still. So there you go. Have a good day.